story that I was really influenced by as a child, and it was a story of a Nightmare Alley. And in Nightmare Alley, it's the story of this sideshow con man, and he's fascinated by the geek. And the geek, in modern terminology, means a nerd or something like that. But in traditional American sideshows, the geek was this subhuman, this less than man, degraded human that would bite the heads off of live animals for the entertainment of the masses. And this character, this con man, was both fascinated and repulsed by the geek. He thought, how could someone be that low? How could someone degrade themselves so much? But he was also fascinated by it. So he went on to become really successful at exploiting other people's pain, and he pretended to contact the dead relatives of wealthy people. He became really big in a spiritualist racket and exploited these people and made lots of money off them. But finally he was exposed as a fraud, and he started his spiral downward. And he became an alcoholic and a hobo, and was real desperate. He lost everything. He had everything and he lost it. And he showed up at another carnival, and he was real desperate for work, anything to survive. And he walks into this carnival and he asks the guy if you have any work. He says, I'm desperate, I'll do anything. And the guy says, yeah, I do have one job, but I don't think you'd want it. And he goes, I'll take anything. And so the guy says, you know what a geek is? I said, yeah, I know what a geek is. He says, you think you can handle it? And he says, mister, I was made for it. So he has to find spiritual redemption in the thing that was that most horrible to him. And that was a big influence on me. Like this journey, this need to find spiritual redemption, through that, and through transgressing, that which is most horrible, and most fearsome, and and most terrible. And it should be painful. I mean, it's like, I'm not different from you. If you could imagine, what it's like to bite the head off of a live animal, just think about it. It's that way for me. It's alive. But every day, people will sit in a McDonald's or in a restaurant and eat a steak. But that steak was alive, Somebody else killed it for you. You got somebody else to do your dirty work, It's like you're no longer in touch with that, and that's part of life. Pain and death are part of life, and those pain and death are part of life, and those are things that modern society tries to deny. I mean, you have all these pills for to take away the pain of a headache. Childbirth, is now done while the woman's asleep, or all these things. Nothing should die. You have these, these organizations that want to stop hunting and want everything to live and for there to be no suffering in life. But that's not what nature's about. Nature, the balance of nature means that there has to be death so that there will be life. That's that's what the process is about.
And, okay.
Well, I have a lot of fondness for New York City. New York City always seemed to be like one of the best examples of a real urban jungle. Um, in the suburbs, you've got, every house is neat, and the lawns are well kept, and everything is ordered. But in the city, especially New York City, it's the closest to a jungle. In the jungle, you have incredibly exotic plants that are fighting for dominance, and they're incredibly unusual and big, and every animal is predatory. They're all survival of the fittest is all that the jungle law is about. And in New York, it sort of resembles nature's jungle, because you've got buildings that are growing, almost competing with each other to be the tallest building and to be the most exotic building and the most unusual building. You've got, an Art Deco, neo-modern or neo-rococo, and they're all so different, and they're all in such dramatic contrast to each other. And you've got the people in the city, each predatory, each needing, each fighting for every little bit, from the lowest homeless character that's going to fight another one, for the few pennies, to a Wall Street tycoon that's fighting for millions or billions of dollars or value. And there's something fascinating about that, and there's something that I need to be around and to experience. And the old New York was fascinating to me too. The old Five Points gangs, and it seemed as if New York, was always this urban jungle.
Is it in your work?
Well, I mean, that's specifically, it's in my work. Specifically, I've portrayed areas of New York, and I think. You judge for yourself. I think it is. Anything is a reasonable. It's because the need, the internal, like the necessity, like for me, it's survival.